Somebody put a comment on one of my videos that said, "This guy is smarter than he looks." Oh, that's hilarious. Claude, one question. If you got 2 minutes before, I know you probably got to run, but
I'm good till the bottom of the hour.
okay. This question is in my mind about how you came up in the business yourself. So I've seen you on some, like, you showed us a video one time of you on a TV show. You've been advertised in, what was it, the Washington Post or New York Times, or hey, bye-bye, have a great day. And she's cute, Claude. You did good, man. How'd you pull that off?
We should get married.
You should. You better treat her right, man.
I've known her since she was 16 years old.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And her parents still let me take her
out.
Oh,
that's how you did it. That's how you did it. Oh, I see. I see how you are. How old were you?
I was 17 and I turned 18 that night at 12 o'clock.
You old dog, you.
Yeah,
Look
yeah.
at that.
Yeah. I was 2 years older than her.
So it looks like you were doing a lot of big guru type things. What point?
What do you mean by big guru type things?
Well, okay. If I were to ask 9 out of 10 people that are familiar with you, they would refer to you as a guru. One, because you've been around so long, your knowledge and skill level. I don't mean that in a derogatory way at all. That's a compliment.
How could you take that as a derogatory? Yeah. That's a compliment.
Well, I mean, maybe your age, but you're not an old man. But you've been doing this for a long time.
Let's go out. Let's go for a 10-mile run, and I'll give you a 1 mile head start. Okay?
Yeah. No, I need more than that. I need 9.5, 9 miles maybe. 9 mile head start. At what point? Or did you, or maybe I'm just asking a question I've invented the parameters of in my own mind, but did you at some point decide, hey, I don't need to do the TV shows and the ads and the, Wall Street Journal or whatever it is, and all these things. I'd rather have this boutique thing than, using your word, the boutique type shop, instead of pushing and pushing and pushing for more exposure, attention, limelight, what it may be. Does that make sense? What I'm asking?
It makes sense. It was an adaptation. Before the internet, all we had was newspapers and magazines as our primary. When people were going to buy or sell houses, they did classified ads. And they weren't cheap, by the way. I mean, a little ad in the LA Times or the New York Times or something like that is $100 for these little bitty ads. Remember them?
Yeah, I remember doing that.
In the old days, we used to take our yellow highlighter on every Sunday. I'd get all the newspapers and I'd yellow highlight all the houses for sale, for rent. And that's how I got started in the business. I'd call people up directly, phone skills and marketing. And then as the business grew, we had a bigger budget. We were literally spending, I wish Claudia was back in the room here because she writes the checks, $10,000 a month. And I'm talking Stone Age time, day.
Yeah.
Okay. But when you're spending $10,000 a month, but you're making 6 figures a month, it makes sense. And that's all we had then. Then I slowly started to do mailers because, I'd have so many people contact me. We did postal mailers. We had a big database of postal mailers. So we'd mail out a newsletter. In fact, if you've did I ever send that to you, the old copies of the Lease Purchase Times?
I've got it. Yeah.
I mailed thousands of those out monthly. I mean, and they brought me in business, and people were mailing me in money and checks for my packages, and some of those converted into mentoring. So that worked really well too, the postal mailing. Then I started to learn, and I hope this is okay to give you this long answer, but
this is incredible. Yeah.
This is an evolutionary process.
Yeah.
Then I discovered I had to face my greatest fear. This would be a good video to share with the group, maybe. My greatest fear was public speaking. But public speaking, man, if you speak in front of 2 nuns and a Boy Scout, you're going to make money today. Okay. and I was scared to death of public speaking, but I read a few books by Dottie Walters, Dale Carnegie. I practiced, you've heard of Toastmasters.
Yeah.
I eventually overcame my fear. And this is the thing about entrepreneurs. We're willing to do what most people will not do, overcome our fear.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. I used to hyperventilate before a speaking gig. And I started speaking at real estate clubs and at business associations, and every time I spoke, I made money. And I didn't have to do that run to the back of the room bullshit.
Yeah.
And so the speaking really, and how much does speaking cost? You know, and I put on the little suit and the white shirt and the tie, the red or blue tie and everything. So that's where that went. And I still do, before the pandemic, I still spoke a couple times a year. Yeah. Every time I'd speak in like the one club, I'm a member and a keynote speaker for the San Diego Creative Investors Association. It's the largest real estate club in the US.
Yeah.
Okay, it's in San Diego, and they invite me every year to speak, and I have a ball. And every time I speak, there's new people there, and I give them free books. I say, go to my webpage. Here's a free book.
Yeah.
All these, like 100, 200 people go to my webpage, register. All of a sudden, a whole new influx of people in my database. I send them a personalized video. I make one video. I send it to everybody with the free book attached. So that marketing worked good, and it cost me nothing.
Right.
Then eventually, and I did cable TV shows and regular TV shows. We were on, Claude and I and our baby at the time were on a talk show one time. Anything I could do. There's no such thing as bad publicity. But this was all pre-internet days.
And that is a ton of content, a ton of work. That's like a business by itself, practically.
Right. And I did it all myself. I had a British secretary. So when she answered the phone, it was that musical little British accent and everything like that. But I did it. I did the sales. I did the deals. I did the marketing. Claudia did all the books and accounting. She took care of the kids, homeschooled the kids. I mean, when I say kitchen table millionaire, I mean, literally, we worked on the kitchen table doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
And so then I was still doing all these things. And then slowly we saw the newspaper circulation go down.
Yeah.
And the internet started with America Online and Prodigy, AOL, all these things. And I started to do some marketing on there. In the old days, we had just news groups. Yeah. And when the internet first started. So you start putting content on the news groups, and look where it is today, where you and I were just talking about live streaming and YouTube and
for $50
and all this stuff.
Yeah. So the internet basically is what's caused you to evolve to the systems that you
the internet was not evolutionary, it was revolutionary. It was one of those, like in going from the horse to the car. It was one of those it was like getting on the first airplane, you know. It was a revolutionary change in our culture.
So there is literally nothing that I should be considering doing really beyond virtual attraction marketing on a daily basis.
Well, how many leads do you need? If you do social media, virtual attraction marketing, like you're doing it brilliantly. You're all over the place. Man, I don't think a day goes by Justin Chamness doesn't come across my
right.
Oh,
exactly.
Justin's on Periscope. He's on YouTube.
Exactly.
And, you know, shut up money, baby. You know, and you do this so well.
All right.
And you're just putting out content. And what do you think? Reverse engineer it. That's what I always do. What do you think the people who are watching you? Somebody on Periscope, oh, who's this shut up money guy? Let me check this out. Yeah. And they see you and they start getting, and they have an interest in real estate or sales and all the things you do. What do you think's going through their mind?
Somebody put a comment on one of my videos that said, this guy is smarter than he looks. Oh, that's hilarious.
You know what Liberace said? Some newspapers wrote some very nasty things about him, real hate speech in those days.
Yeah.
And somebody asked him, and you know, he was a famous piano player.
Oh yeah, lots of rings.
Oh, lots of rings and glitter. He was a showboat.
Yeah.
and he was in Vegas and everything. But people were saying some very nasty. This was before the gay rights movement.
Oh
okay?
yeah, I remember.
Okay,
yeah.
And someone asked him once, and this is one of those famous expressions that'll last through all time. They said, "How can you stand it? They're writing these nasty things about you and all this." And he said, "You know what? I'm crying all the way to the bank."
Right. That's great, man.
That's that great expression. And
I like it.
So you do what you got to do. We accept there's going to be trolls. There might be fair or unfair criticism. Sometimes it's fair criticism. I can accept that and everything. But in the end, who wins? The Chamness family.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The cable bill is paid. You're sleeping at night. The washing machine breaks. You say, "Honey, just go order another one. I don't care, whatever you want, sweetie."
Yeah.
You know, boom, the money's in the account. That's when life gets, the quality of life is just so good. You know, the short time on this planet.
We have never been happier as individuals or as a couple or a family than we are in 2020. And I know that sounds so crazy.
No, it sounds wonderful.
That's my reality.
You know what's my biggest problem? The biggest problem in my life?
What's that?
I don't have any problems. I don't have any shit to worry about.
You get fucking bored, right?
I got great kids. I married my girlfriend here, my sweetheart. We got mac and cheese on the table whenever we want. And we're in good health, which is very important. That's what life's about. Not worrying about. See, I've been where other people have been. A job I hate. Sitting in a car in traffic, spilling coffee between my legs. It's not the caffeine that keeps you awake. It's that stopping short and spilling that big Starbucks, before they have coffee holders. And the thing is, if you having that minimal amount of control in your life.
Yeah.
Tell me how good that is.
Oh man, it's such a great place to be. I almost